Go live. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 16th of January. So let's get cracking, look at what's coming out today. There's not a lot, there's a US bank holiday, I'll tell you that much for nothing. But it's Martin Luther King Day. If my memory's right, it doesn't have such a knock-on effect on the whole of the market, so many of the markets still carry on, in particular the Forex one. Aside of that, then we got Bank of England governor speaking there at 3 p.m. He's talking about the risk financial stability report there. So, and then we got the Bank of Canada Business Outlook survey that could create a little bit of volatility with the Canadian dollar. So just to be aware later on this afternoon. But this morning seems pretty much quiet there. Relatively, and I say this morning today as a whole. I did check. There's no speakers scheduled for today either, so quiet day on the Western Front. So let's have a look at these markets. Starting off, looking at the euro dollar as ever, and well, we saw last week the sort of the push back up, the higher low coming through now properly, suggesting maybe a bigger trend to the upside. As I run through this, it's also then on the 4 hourlies we got into this sort of divergence looking bit of price action, so and we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off at the moment. Now these pivots look a bit out of sync, and they probably are, because he says they probably are because they probably are. Let me just check something here. Yeah, as I suspected, they're being calculated wrong. Let me try again on a different. There we go. So there's the pivots. I thought they looked a bit wrong. They were taken into Sunday's data. Right. So moving southbound towards it'll be interesting. There's the daily pivot just below us here. Be interesting to see if we get a bounce off this. It breaks through, bounce, well, look for the highs and beyond as we run through the week. The pound, same on the dailies here, holding up better, gradually working its way back up north. Shooting star into Friday. There was already some divergence kicking through onto Thursday. We're seeing a bit of a sell-off as we start the week here. The weekly pivot's not that far below. Again, that might provide some support, and it's not too distant from the by the looks of it. The weekly and the dailies well, there's not a great deal of difference between them. There's a little bit. It's about there's a few pips. So just watch out for both of those to see the reaction this morning. Dollar yen. But either way, although there's a bit of divergence at the moment now, I'm still looking long side. Dollar yen, well, the yen caught the strength last week and certainly pushing down on the basis that the Bank of Japan may change their methods a little bit there and start tightening up, and we consequently saw these lovely movements through across most of the majors pairs against the yen. We saw a similar sort of movement there. Again here, just looking at the hourly, just waiting to see if it pulls back. Let's just check the weekly, but go back to the week. Okay, that would be ideal. A nice retrace into that weekly pivot, but might just never happen early part of the week. We'll see what happens, but to me it still looks like it's shaping. It's double topping in the short term here. Not quite caught the pivot there, but could well just carry on rolling south. So we'll be watching this first thing this morning. Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar, well, it's already carried on pushing through here. It's worked through the earlier divergence over a week ago on the bigger time frame here, and the shorter time frame divergence is still, well, that candle in the middle probably spoilt things. Let me just check. says it's higher divergences. Get rid of these so you can see a bit clearer. So, actually, it was diverging at that point there. It's not any longer. So, there we go. Anyway, generally, again, it's come just short of its daily pivot here and looks like it's trying to reverse. So we'll see what happens post 8 o'clock. Again, we could just see it running back. Don't get too excited by the pre 8 o'clock data. Right, US dollar CAD. So US dollar CAD, it's in a bit of a choppy old mess at the moment on the dailies, really. Although the bias is still to the downside, lower highs coming through there. Another one that's pulled back towards its weekly pivot, and looking at that, the daily pivot's just not far off. Just a bit more choppy and a bit ugly, the pattern on here. It did come off on Friday afternoon, but lost a lot of way on the way. So a lot of movement on the way, so not quite where I'd like to have seen it to be. So keeping a bit clear of that one. So let's have a look at gold. Gold on the dailies when it eventually loads. As I said last week, gold seems to be on the run here, and it's continued pretty much that way. Got this bearish engulfing almost looking candle on the 4 hourlies at the moment. So it's come off a little bit. Again, similar picture to everything else in terms of us looking back towards these pivots. And it's a case of waiting. Now, if they start breaking through all of these currencies effectively, if they start breaking through, just wait. And there's weekly pivots in other. This is slightly lower than where the dailies are. Just wait for the pivots to occur. I'm not going to be trying to trade back to them because it's against the bigger trend that I would rather stay with. Looking at oil. So oil's caught the bug a little bit more again, and pushed up on Friday, off this morning at the moment. But I'd be looking at this carefully to see, again, it's not too dissimilar to the currencies really. It's pulled back through its daily pivot here. Just go back to the weekly. Yeah, it's got a bit of distance to the weekly. Again, nice move into the weekly. Any signs of bouncing, I'd be looking to buy on that basis. So there's quite a few potential setups this morning with if we get a continuation. If any of all of these start rolling through their pivots, just leave them and wait for the next opportunity to trade. So that's pretty much it there. Oops, let's have a quick look at the indices. Don't get too carried away there, but the CSI 300 continue to shove up. This is some of the data coming out in Asia, and particularly China. It's been better than expected, and we're seeing these numbers pushing up there now. And the market, the equity market, there pushing up. Don't know why I'm going through the time frames on there. The Nikkei on the other hand isn't, and that sort of potential stronger, higher interest rate or tightening in the monetary system has seen the Nikkei drop back south again. Nifty not doing too brilliantly either. It seems like it's firmly in a bit of a downtrend at the moment, and lower highs, lower lows running through there. So coming close to home then, the S&Ps, well, working their way gradually upwards as the continued sort of softer rhetoric regarding the dollar and inflation continues, and we saw some sort of minor reduction in inflation. This seems to be giving the okay to the equity markets to get on the bandwagon and rally again by the looks of things. Dow Jones doing exactly the same. So it's really a case of looking at the shorter time frames through the day. Again, you've got the pivots, daily pivots to come back to, maybe the weekly pivots a little bit further. Just see what they do. If they run through the dailies, I'm looking at the weeklies. Nasdaq, similar situation. It had been the weakest one, but at the moment even that's catching a decent rally. DAX, those DAX traders out there, it's just gone and gone and gone on the dailies. it gets its little retraces, and their little retraces, when I say little, have been quite that. Even though I think we're going to see further tightening with the euro, with more interest rate increases. Overall, the markets have taken to it okay. We've seen the price come back to its daily already here, so be interesting post 8 o'clock where that rallies. But if it chops around, there's the 4 hourly, the weekly pivot underneath. Finally, the FTSE. Similar picture here. It's been really leading things, taking out prior highs time and time again. You've really got to start looking back, and it's taken out all of last year's highs, sitting across there, taking them all out now last week properly, and closed above there. So it's in a decent sort of move at the moment, and well, again, retracements to the weekly. Daily's already been tested here at the moment, or is being tested. It could well change course again post 8 o'clock. So a quick look at the cryptos. They've been livening up lately and looking a lot better. No point looking at the hourlies though. Not so sure why these pivots are all squashed on here. In fact, that was because I'm on a weekly picture. Whoops. Come back to there. Pop that to a daily. There we go. So yeah, I mean it's just gone and gone on this. This is monthly pivots here. It's just shows you how much it's gone, and got a decent recovery of late. Just come down the time frame, seeing the same picture throughout. It's had a rather a decent weekend. Sunday coming off, but Saturday decent push up there and a continuation there. Litecoin likewise been pushing up, a little bit more consolidated today, but they've had these moves up again with a slightly weaker dollar, stronger bit cryptos. Right, I'll leave you on that note here. Seems like a long time since I've been a bit more cheery on the crypto markets, but they're certainly in positive trends on the intermediate time frames at least. Have a great day's trading, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.